Hi, this video is about pushing data to Airtable using Byteline, and we will manage inserts, updates and deletes using a single Byteline task, and we'll show that in this video. So let's start. So this is the Byteline console, and when you log in into the console and you don't have any flows, so this is the screen that you see. Now, before we start making the flow, let me first show you the setup. This is my Airtable account, and I have a table called Reddit no code. And for this example video, we're gonna pull data from Reddit and push it into Airtable. So I have this table with the column name where the post title will go, and then the posted date of the post and who created that post, and then I'm also going to show the linked records. So if you see this column subreddit, this column is linked to another table within Airtable called subreddits, and all the rows in the other table has linked to this table. And then for Reddit, here is the subreddit from where we're gonna pull all the data. So let's create our flow. So I'm gonna name it Reddit to Airtable. This is a trigger node. So this first node is always a trigger node, and it says how the flow will be executed. So in this example, I'm using HTTP API trigger, but you can use a scheduler based flow as well, which you can configure to run every couple of hours or whenever you like to run the flow. And now the next node is gonna be Reddit, and let's configure this node. Um, so this task node, it uses Reddit's APIs to get data, and one of the requirement that Reddit has is for users to sign in. So we provided the sign in to Reddit button. So give the permissions. So this is successful. So let's go back and refresh. So now we are connected to Reddit, and here we just need to specify the name of subreddit. We'll save this, and let's test it out. And for testing any flow, you first have to deploy, and now this button next to it is for doing a test run. The run is successful. Now let's see what data we got from Reddit. So looks like we got 6 records, and here is the data, and we will use that data in the next node, which is gonna be Airtable update. Now let's add that node, Airtable update items. Okay, so now to configure this node, the first thing we need is Airtable connection. Um, and the way we configure the Airtable connection is slightly different because Airtable doesn't have a OAuth authentication mechanism. So we have to get API key from Airtable account and then use it here. And you go to your account, and here is my API key. So let's save it. So now we'll go back to our flow, and now it says connected. And if you want to see details on how to how to get the API key for Airtable, or how to get the base ID which we need for the next field, you can look into our tech docs, which is always in the bottom right corner of any Byteline task, and this explains all the details. So now let's get the base ID for this. So here we are back on Airtable, and the base ID I'm using is hello world, and this is my ID. Okay, and my name of the table is Reddit hyphen no code. And now it automatically pulls the columns that we can specify here. So now before we go there, let me explain the concept of loop over. So what it means is that we want to iterate over multiple elements and then do Airtable update for each of those records. And now in our in this video we are getting data from Reddit, and we want to execute this Airtable task for each of the item that is returned by Reddit. um, and the way you can choose a loop over array is using our select variable tool, which is very commonly used for picking the flow variables that you can use at different places on the task configuration. So now if you see this node, this is the data that we got from Reddit, and this is the children array, and this data, it's a JSON data, and this is how Reddit defines it. So we get this children node, and we can just pick path for this node. So you just click on this gray button, so you copy that and then check loop over, and you can enter the path here. And if you want to see technical documentation on using loop over, you can click on this information button, and will take you to the loop over documentation. So we specified the array over which we want to iterate. So now let's specify uh, specify these columns that we want to use from Reddit. So again, let's use this tool. So now for the name, we're gonna use the title. Let's see, where is the title field? That is here. And as we paste the value of the title and we go to the next text field, this automatically changes the format of the data that is required for loop over. So anything that you want to use from the array being iterated over, it has to start with a at dot, and that's what it changed it to. So now next thing, let's get the posted date. That is this one, created UTC. Let's copy this. And now if you've noticed, the format of that date is epoch, which is which is the number of seconds since some date in 1970s. So that's how the dates are represented in computer systems. But we want to change it to the format that Airtable understands. And for that, you can use this pipe converter that is offered by Byteline. So you can just say slash pipe and then date time, and this will convert it into the right format. And now let's get the username. Here is the author full name that we can use. And now for subreddit, so subreddit, if you remember, that's a linked record. And the way you can specify a linked record is, so you go to the table here, and this is the record that we link to. And for that you need to get the ID of that record, which is over here, and we'll just copy this, and that's what we're gonna use in Byteline. So now one of the requirements of Airtable is that this should be an array. They don't take just a string. This needs to be an array, so we will convert it into array using another pipe converter. So once this is done, so that's all we need for the Airtable configuration. So let's save it and we will do a run. So deploy it again. Okay, so this is successful, and let's see the stats. So now I did 6 inserts because we got 6 records from no code subreddit. And now let's see our Airtable. Um, this is my Reddit no code table that we specified. And now see all the data that we got. And this one is just our sample record that we had before. So this is the title of the post, and this you can compare to a no code subreddit. So we just got the top posts from this subreddit, and now they are in our Airtable. And we also got the linked record working. So say see these all these rows are linked to the another subreddits table. So that was it inserted all the records because there was none existing before. So now I want to show you how Byteline can even manage updates and deletes. So now if you open the advanced tab here, so by default, if any updates are required, it will skip the updates. And if any data is deleted at source, which means that say a post is deleted from Reddit, so then how to handle that? So in case of Reddit, posts are not going to be deleted, but if you but say you are working with a job board where the post can be deleted, so then how you want to manage that? And the way it find out whether a record has been updated is through this name field. um, so this is the column that is a key column here, and then if it finds a record with the same name, then it will say that the record already exists. So now let's close this and let's see now what happens when we rerun the flow. It has been configured to just skip the updates. So see, now we got 0 inserts because it knows that those records already exist. Now let's go back to our flow and we'll change the updates to override. So let's deploy because we changed the flow. Successful again. And now see, we got 6 updates. So what this means is it just overrides the data that was in Airtable. Another possible configuration is override when. So here you want to mix skip updates and override based upon some value in another column. So for this example, we can use this column called override. And let's say we just check these 2 columns. And for the just to show you how it works, let's just override this column. So what we are saying here is only override the data wherever this override flag is true. So we will say override is equal to true because that's a checkbox. So let's save it. We'll deploy it. And then just to show you the data again, so for these two columns it should override the data, but now let's also change the value of this. So now the expectation is only these two records will be updated. So we have already deployed it, so now let's rerun. Okay, so see, now we got two updates. And going to the Airtable, so these two records were updated and this one was skipped, and so here username is still removed. So that's the configuration we provide for managing updates. So now let's see deleted at source. So these are ignored by default, but what we can do is we can say if the data was not in the source data, just set our status column to expired. And we have a status column here. And to show you how this will work is, let's just add a random row here. Let's pick some date. So link to no code. So now in our configuration, so this row should be deleted, or not deleted, but its status should be set to expired. So again, let's see one delete and two updates because we still have that override flag true. So now this one, so see its status is set to expired. So I hope you will find this video informational, and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks a lot.